Hello everyone and welcome back to this new video. As someone who loves journaling, I am always on the hunt for different ways to document my life. And this got me thinking, because I know that there are a lot of people out there who want to start journaling for many different reasons. Maybe because they want an outlet for their feelings, their emotions. Maybe because they want some clarity in their mind, or maybe they want to seek patterns in their life to reflect upon. There are so many reasons, but not everyone is as comfortable with journaling and has a problem or a hard time making a habit out of it. The thing is, journaling can be hard to enroll in, especially if you're new and are overwhelmed by all the countless options or are simply struggling to make a habit out of it. But the thing is, there are so many ways to journal, whether it's to pen to paper or through an app. But I am convinced that there are alternatives for everyone and that everyone can find a way that's fitting for them. But the thing is, you need to find this alternative, and that's where this video comes in handy. I have listed different ways that can replace journaling or are an alternative to journaling. So I made two categories. I have like apps and digital ways of journaling, and I have like the classical pen to paper or analog ways of journaling. And I know that there are many ways out there, but I have chose different ways that I think cover all the different needs within journaling, if it's like the things that I said earlier on in this intro, but also ways that I am familiar with so that I can give you my opinion or just the right amount of information, and that it's not something that I am not used to or have no knowledge about at all. Okay, so this is the first video. I work with a script and I'm still finding my way to work with the script. I have it right over here. So sometimes you will see me peeking over there because I'm just figuring out how this all works, and I really want to tell everything that I did research on beforehand. So in case you're wondering, then you understand. Okay, so How We Feel is an app designed by scientists, therapists and engineers, and it's helping people to understand their emotions better and also to help people find strategies to help navigate their emotions in the moment. The app is completely free, so if it sounds like something for you, I highly recommend downloading it. The app works with like a matrix with 4 different categories of emotions. They are all color coordinated, and they don't label emotions as good or bad, which is something I really like. They have 4 categories. The first one is high energy unpleasant, then we have high energy pleasant, we have low energy unpleasant and low energy pleasant. And there are a ton of emotions to choose from, and what is very handy is that every emotion comes with an explanation in case you don't really understand what that specific emotion means. You can then log what you are doing, with whom you're doing it, and where you are doing it when you are feeling that current emotion. And which I really like about this app is that it has statistics, but also articles and meditations to help you navigate those emotions for the better. You can also befriend your friends on this app and share your emotions with them, but you are not forced to share your emotions with them. You can choose every single time whether you like to share your emotions or not. And in this case, you can check up on your friends and see how they are doing if you are open to it. You can also choose how many times a day you want to log your emotion, and the app will send you notifications if you find that okay. And in this case, you don't forget to log your emotions. And what I really like about this app specifically is that in the insights, it gives you so much clarity on which time of the day you are feeling which certain emotions, which category, and also where you are, with whom you are, and maybe you see patterns that can help you to change your life for the better. So if you are seeking patterns in your life or want to regulate your emotions, I highly recommend this app. The second app I chose is Close Up. It isn't as advanced as how we feel is, but I think it can be quite fun, especially if you're someone that gets very nostalgic or loves to document their life, because how we feel because close up asks of you to take a picture of your head every single day. And I think we all have seen those videos on the internet of I took a photo of my face for 20 years or something like that. This app makes those videos for you. And I have been doing this since 2018. And it's so interesting to see how you change as a person and the phases you go through. I have my face with bangs, and then suddenly I start to wear a lot of makeup, and then I don't. And it's so fun to really see you change through the years. So I think this way is great for people who want to see their development like on a low-key base, although I would barely call this journaling. But I think that this method is great if you're seeking a way to document yourself and the way you are changing through your life. The app is free, but it does ask you to pay if you want to export a video of your face. Another app that is great for capturing your life is 1 second a day. And I think this title already tells you a lot about the app, what it asks of you, which is 1 second a day. So a short little video. And if you commit to this, you have at the end of the year a video that is a little over 6 minutes, which I think can be very cool. I think this app is very low-key and very simple to use. It's a free app, and since we live in a world where everyone documents their life in some way or another and takes a lot of pictures and videos, I think it's very easy to commit to this making of the video, to this app, because you are also allowed to put in a fragment of film that you didn't film yourself. You can also ask your friends, like, oh, you filmed today some little fragments, can I have some of it? And I think as long as it are videos that hold memory for you, whether you are in it or whether you filmed it, or whether it's on an event you also attended but you're not in the video and you didn't take the video but it holds memories for you, I think it's great. And a second seems small, but if you look back on it, it's so full of memories, and I think it's wonderful to capture your year and to have something to look back on. This app also works with notifications, so in case you are really forgetful, this also comes in handy, especially since we always have our phone with us, I think, most of us. So if that sounds like something for you, if you're very nostalgic like me, I really recommend this app. The Landing is an app, but also a website. I prefer the website on my computer, but the app works fine as well. They are really improving it. And they describe themselves as your community-powered inspiration engine. I quote, "We aspire to create dynamic experiences at the interaction of collective inspiration, authentic expression and meaningful connection." So you can create an account for free on the Landing and start to make collages. How wonderful does that sound? So if it's a creative outlet that you seek, the Landing space got you. They have this library that is filled with so many different categories and pictures, and I love it. But if it doesn't have the specific picture that you are seeking, you can also upload your own pictures. The only thing they ask is that you mention who is the creator of the piece that you uploaded. You can follow other creators and sprinkle their boards, which is basically liking their board, and you can comment on their boards, which is always so lovely how everyone interacts on this app. I personally really like that they have like different spaces to become a member of. I believe they had like the tarot space or a space for astrology. I also joined a space for aspiring filmmakers, and you can make boards within this space and find like your like-minded people, which is very lovely. And if there is not a space you like in particular, you can also ask to create your own space. So if you are more into creating visual work, instead of putting pen to paper. The landing is really something for you, and it's very sustainable, I would say, because you don't have to print anything or don't have to buy stickers, so it's also very cheap. So in that case, I would really recommend the landing. I will put in a link to my landing in the description. I mostly use the landing for like mood boards for my characters in my books, or for manifesting, because I think making things visual is so helpful. And the last digital app I have, or this is also a website, is YouTube. And you might think like, YouTube, I don't want to become a YouTuber. But let me tell you something. Before I started my YouTube channel, I have been making YouTube videos for I think almost 4 years. And I really love to make just little vlogs about my life and edit them in the way I liked. My parents filmed a lot of home videos when I was young, and I am so in love with them. That's like my cozy time, to just watch them back with some snacks, and I will be filled with happy memories, and I really feel so lucky and everything. And I thought, but why did we stop? I want, if I'm 30, to look back on my 20s, you know? So I started to make and capture my life again. And I think you can make it as creative as you want, but if it's just purely you documenting yourself and the way you speak and the way you move at a certain age, and just putting the videos one after another, that's fine too. But if you want to add music in it and try different editing techniques because you think that's cool, because that was what I did as I was studying film and I wanted to improve my editing techniques, that is also fine. I think you can make it as fitting for yourself as you want, and then you can upload it to YouTube, but private, or like the other option, but I don't know how it's called in English, but it's like only people with the link can view your video. And I often did this because I wanted to share it with my family, with my boyfriend, because most of the time they were also starring in this video. So I think this is great for someone who's very nostalgic but doesn't really have affinity with writing or doodling or anything that's really journaling. I think this is great for you. Then onto the analog ways alternatives for journaling. Did the landing space sound like something for you, but the thing that you are missing is really making it physical, making it tangible? Then scrapbooking and collaging, making collages is something for you. I love to do this. I think there are so many ways to make collages that there is something fitting for everyone. And I think this is also great for someone who wants to express their feelings or just wants a creative outlet, but isn't really great with words or doesn't really like to put words onto paper because that makes it maybe more real for them, or is just not a way for them to express themselves. I think scrapbooking, amazing. It really is a very fun way to capture all your memories one way or another, and it doesn't have to be with pictures of your own. It can also be with pictures that really capture the vibe or the momentum, I guess. And I did some research for different ways of journaling because I think it can be very minimalistic but also very maximalistic. For example, you can buy like an agenda and do a little collage every single day in this agenda, but you can also make grand pages full of color. So I have two artists that I follow on Instagram, and one that is very minimalistic and maybe gives you some inspiration is Janice McDonald in here because I really want to give you the right name. And she makes very minimalistic but very thoughtful collages, and I think that's so great. And she really does this on a daily basis. And an artist that is more maximalistic is Lalanya Jade. Sorry if I pronounce it the wrong way. But there are so many different ways to make collages that I think a great start would be gathering pieces or making like boards on Pinterest of pieces that you like in particular. And this way you can discover what your style is. But another great way is just to start and experiment and see whatever comes to you and find your style eventually. And maybe you don't want to find a style. Maybe you just want to do something different every single day. And that's fine too. That's like the art of journaling. You can do whatever is fitting for you in the moment. At least that's what I like if it comes to journaling so much. So maybe you are someone that really wants to journal but finds journaling quite overwhelming, because what do I have to write about? How do I fill up the page? And how do I make it a habit? And for those people, I think a sentence a day can be a great start. And I know that this is not something new, not something mind-blowing. It's something that's on the market for a very long time. But I think this is a great start for someone who wants to start journaling but doesn't quite feel comfortable with filling a page up. So you can buy a journal that's specifically made for writing a sentence a day, or maybe an agenda and just writing every day a little sentence, or just a notebook, a plain notebook, and you just write the date yourself. And you can just write a single sentence a day. And it can be a long sentence, it can be a short sentence, as long as you try to make a habit out of it. Because if you continue doing this for 30 days, they say that it takes 30 days to make a habit, you mastered the habit. You can now journal. And I am convinced you can do that. And if it doesn't work out immediately, it's not as overwhelming to try again. So a sentence can be like, today I went to the fair in my local town where I ate cotton candy with my friends. Or it can be, today I felt shitty. And both are equally valid, I would say. And in case you forgot a day or are not in a place to write that specific day, then it's not as overwhelming to catch up on the writing. It's very easy to write 5 sentences in one day instead of a whole page for every single day that you missed. So if you want something low-key but very close to journaling, I would really recommend this. Another thing I really like is annotating a poetry book. And I think this is a thing that you don't hear as often as like a sentence a day. But the idea comes from Kim Rashidi. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong again. But she wrote a poetry book, Fortunate. And this is a tarot poetry book, which contains 73 poems, which all correspond with a certain tarot card. And in the beginning of the book, she writes that you can just flip open the book on a random page, read the poem, and annotate the book, highlight the pieces, the sentences, the word that really stick out to you at that current moment. And then another time you flip the book open again and it's another page. And sometimes you open it on the same page and you still highlight the pieces that really stick out to you at that current time, and you will see that most of the time these are different things because you are in a different time and you have made changes, even if it's just like 2 weeks apart. And I think that's so interesting. Even the things that happened that current day can affect the way you read the poem so much. And I think this is great for if you need a prompt to work with, if you find it hard to write just out of thin air something on paper. So I think this can be with every poetry book, and you can choose whether you like to work from the first page to the last page and then start again, because I think the starting again is what makes it interesting, because you can see the way you developed, the way your thinking changed. But it can also be like Kim Rashidi really recommends in her book, just flipping open a random page, and sometimes it takes ages for a poem to be found, and another poem will be found like 4 times already. You have already annotated a lot of times. With the annotating the second time, I really recommend using another color so that it's clear for you which color is with whatever date you read it. But I think this is very interesting because it really triggers your mind to think about certain things, and you can choose the poetry book based on something, a theme that is playing in your life. For example, if you choose Milk and Honey, this is all about love. So if you're going through a breakup or just seeking for a partner or just starting a new romantic relationship, this can be something that's really great. And also, if you're in a steady relationship for years or you're just happy single, this can also be great, because I think poetry talks about themes that a lot of us can relate to. And it's so interesting because now you can really write about how it relates to you specifically. And maybe you see patterns because you are asked questions, not really questions, but you're asked to reflect upon certain sentences, certain words that maybe can trigger new emotions, trigger ways of thinking that you wouldn't really be open to or open up to if it wasn't for the poetry, you know? So I think this can be very interesting. And I really love how she came up with this idea, because I love to flip open a page and just write some things in the poem. So another alternative for journaling is tarot card journaling. And this is also more like an alternative for prompts. So someone who does want to write but doesn't know what to write about. I think journal cards are a great tool that helps you reflect upon your life. I also want to make a video upon this in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. If you want to see this, please subscribe, because I think this is such a wonderful tool for journaling. Just pick a card every single day, reflect upon the card just as you did with the poems, and see maybe patterns or see answers coming to the light of day that you wouldn't really have thought of if it wasn't for the card. And I think it can be a great tool also for like the more harder parts of life, because tarot is also about critical stuff, like critical thinking. And I think that can be great for you to really develop yourself and really dig deeper on certain topics, certain levels. We're almost there. Hold on. We're almost there. Just a little bit more. I know you can do it. Please stay with me. So something that can give you direction as well is a gratefulness journal. And I have started one recently. I did a lot of grateful, like things I'm grateful for lists in my journal, but I really wanted to make it a habit and do it every single day. I'm still struggling to make it a habit. So that's like normal. Not everyone succeeds in making it a habit immediately. But anyway, I think the task is very simple. Write about something that you are grateful for. So what I did was making like a list of rules so that it's very clear for me what it is that is expected from me, and now I know every single day what it is that I need to do. So for example, my rules are: write 10 things that I'm grateful for every single morning, write 10 things that I'm grateful for every single evening, and in case I miss it one day, I can double the list from the day before. But you can also choose one single thing that you are grateful for and really write a story about it, about why you are grateful for it. So I think the options are endless, but it gives you a direction to what to write about. And I also think it benefits in your daily life to look more positive on the things that are happening, and maybe be just a little bit more happier in your day-to-day life, because that is what it's doing for me right now. I'm so much more mindful. I am so grateful for the things around me. If things don't go the way I would like or would prefer, I am able to remind myself of all the things that do bring me joy and I am grateful for. If you're seeking for something that gives you more direction in what it is to journal on, Gratefullness Journal is also great. And lastly, almost there, I have emotion tracking. So I took inspiration from the bullet journalists, because there are so many great spreads out there on Pinterest. I really recommend looking through them, and you don't have to have a bullet journal for them, but that can be a way to journal bullet journaling is also journaling. There are so many ways of journaling. I love how many ways there are. There's something fitting for everyone, if you didn't hear already by this video. But I often see spreads where you can track different things. So kind of the analog version of how we feel. And what I often see them doing is that every emotion gets their own color and they make a year in pixels. And they have all these little boxes and they color them in according to the emotion that they felt at a certain day. But I think that it doesn't have to be emotions. There are so many things that you can track. And I took some inspiration from Pinterest. So here are some of the things I saw. I made a list of them, so you have also a little bit more inspiration about what it is that you can track and maybe find something that is fitting for you. But we have working out, and then you can maybe color the box if you did that certain day a workout. Maybe you can make it more specific on if it was cardio or strength training. How many pages read a day? How many minutes on your phone can be confronting. Your period can come in very handy as well. Very handy to have a pattern in this and see what day you're due. Habits. If there is a habit you want to learn, you can write this habit down and see how you slowly make it a habit. And also check the box if you did it at a certain day. Activities, just like a year in pixels, but now the colors correspondent with activities you did. And these were the ones that I had in store for you. And this is also everything that I had in store for you if it comes to alternatives. So if you have any questions about these alternatives, please just comment down below. Also comment down below. Also, comment down below what your favorite alternative is. I love to see what your needs are if it comes to journaling and why you love that specific alternative. Or maybe you have an alternative that I didn't mention, but you think is great for people that are seeking something. So if you haven't found something that's fitting for you yet, maybe check out the comments and who will know, maybe there is something that is just the right thing for you. If this video was helpful, please please subscribe, especially if you want to see the how I journal with tarot cards video. And I hope I see you in my next videos.